Hey everybody, it is the moment you've been waiting for. It's our Unit 2 test video. So I'm going to go over each question and the solutions on how to solve them. You follow along on your own test. Please make the corrections for the questions that you've gotten wrong. And what you can do is skip to the times if you want. If you only have a few wrong, just skip to the times to watch just those questions and how to solve them correctly. Now, because we are doing common denominator, there are a few other options that are still technically correct. I'm going to be focusing this whole test on the lowest common multiple for the lowest common denominator, but it is possible for you to get a question correct with a higher denominator. For example, if the LCM was 12 and you solved using 24, I still gave you the points because it was still correct. It just isn't using the method I used, but that's fine. Let's get started here. Okay, Unit 2 test, add or subtract. Let's take a look here. So there is no place for you to do your work. So let's go ahead and let's do it underneath here. 5/6 minus 1/3. The very first thing I taught you in this whole unit is you cannot add or subtract fractions that have an unlike denominator. The number on the bottom is not the same. You cannot subtract these. We have to convert them. So you could use time or money or just a multiple, but the least common multiple of 6 and 3, well, 3 goes into 6, so 6 has to be the least common multiple. In order to convert 1/3 into 6ths, well, I have to multiply 3 by 2, and you have to multiply the numerator by the same number, so 1 times 2. So 1/3 becomes 2/6. All right, so there's our conversion. So now we have 5/6 minus 2/6, which gives us 3/6, and many students wrote 1/2. So these are both correct answers. Question number B, 5/6 plus 1/3. Well, look at that. Same thing here, converting 1/3 into 6th. We already know it's 2/6, 2/6. But this one, you have to be careful. It is addition and not subtraction. So 5/6 plus 2/6, well, that is 7/6. You might have noticed that 7/6 is more than 1/6, so you could also give the answer here, or 1 and 1/6. That's the improper fraction and the mixed number. Both are correct. Either of them would be correct. 1/6 plus 2 and 1/4. Well, right off the bat, now we need to convert the 6 and the 4. If you write out the multiples, you would see that the lowest common multiple for both of these is 12. So let's convert these both into 12ths. So 6 times 2 is 12, 1 times 2 is 2. So 1/6 is equal to 2/12, plus 2 and 1/4. So we're going to keep that 2. And 1/4 turning into 12ths. Well, 4 times 3 is 12, so 1 times 3 is 3/12. So now we have 2/12 plus 2 and 3/12. We're going to leave that 2 alone. 2 plus 3 is 5. So our answer here is going to be 2 and 5/12. Our last one here is 1 and 1/5 minus 3/10. Let's convert to a mixed number. Our 1/5, right off the bat, when you look, you'll see that 5 goes into 10. So therefore, 10 must be the lowest common multiple. 1/5 as a 10th, 5 times 2 is 10, 1 times 2 is 2. So this is going to become 1 and 2/10. All right, 1 and 2/10 minus 3/10. Well, that gives us this problem here. 3/10 is more than 2/10. So if we're going to subtract, we'll take away those 2, bringing us to 1 whole, but we still have 1/10 left to take away. 1 whole will turn into 9/10. 9/10. You could write this out, regrouping the 1 into 10/10, making that 12/10, and then subtract the 3. That would also work. All right, let's take a look. So here we go. Now these blank spots will show us our work. What I wanted to see was 3 fractions for each, an equivalent fraction of 1/2, an equivalent fraction of 1/3, and then the solution. So 1/2 and 1/3, 2 and 3, the least common multiple is 6. So 1/2 as 6, 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3/6. And for 1/3, 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. 2/6. 3/6 plus 2/6. 3 plus 2 is 5/6. All right, right off the bat here, subtraction, please pay attention to what you're doing. 3/5 and 4/10, boom, you see 5 goes into 10. Nice. Let's go ahead, let's convert just this one. Well, right off the bat, we can write 4/10 there because we're not going to convert this one. So 3/5, 5 times 2 is 10. 3 times 2 is 6. 6/10 minus 4/10, right? I saw a lot of mistakes here, is 2/10. Wonderful. Okay, 10/16, 5/8. Well, 8 goes into 16, so that's the very first thing you look for, which means we're not going to convert the 10/16. So 10/16 stay the same. But 5/8, 8 times 2 is 16, 5 times 2 is 10, so that gives us 10/16. 10/16 minus 10/16, well, I saw a bunch of different answers here. You can write 0/16, or the most appropriate answer is just 0. Because 0/16 is literally nothing, so 0 is a correct answer. Okay, 4/15 and 1/3. So we have here 2 mixed numbers. Let's leave the whole numbers alone. Let's convert, well, 3 goes into 15 by 5, so 3, let's leave this one alone. So 3 and 4/15. Oh, let's give that another try here. 3 and 4/15. And let's add that to 1/3 as a 15th. Well, 3 times 5 is 15, so 1 times 5 is 5. 2 and 5/15. Lucky us, we don't have to regroup because 4 plus 5 is 9. And then that gives us 5. 3 plus 2 is 5. And 4 plus 5 is 9. So we have 5 and 9/15. Not so bad. All right, so Shawn made a mix of lettuce seeds to plant. The mix had, I'm going to go ahead and underline while we're working. The mix had 1/2 cup green leaf seeds, 2/3 cups red leaf seeds, and 1 1/4 cups bronze leaf seeds. So 2 2/3 is what I meant to say. How many cups does he have to plant? So this is kind of like saying have in all, right? So right off the bat, we know that we have 3 numbers, 3 amounts, and the operation here is addition. Let's go ahead. Let's write this out again. So I would like to have seen 1/2 plus 2 2/3 plus, I think it's always important right off the bat that you write out your equation. 2 2/3 plus 1 1/4. Now, before I continue, I often mention to you the answer sentence. When you're working through a story problem, it's important to take a step back and say, what is this question asking? Well, this question wants to know how many cups of seeds does Shawn have to plant? So a really good strategy is at the very beginning, before you even do the question, you write out your answer sentence, okay? Shawn has, then you just go blank, many, or blank cups of seeds to plant. And then what's great about this is no matter how much work you do or if you get lost, you'll always remember that if you don't actually answer this, then you haven't actually answered the question. Because so many times I'll see students convert, do some work, but then never really go back and answer. So let's go ahead and start converting. So we have 2, we have a 3 and a 4. I'm going to start with the thirds and the fourths. I know that these two have a lowest common multiple of 12. And guess what? 2 also goes into 12. So let's convert all of these into 12ths. So 1/2 is plus 2 times 6 is 12. 1 times 6 is 6 12ths. You can also just think like, what's half of 12? 6. So 2, now 2/3. 3 times 4 is 12. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 and 8 twelfths plus fourths. 3 times 4 is 12. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 twelfths. 1 and 3 twelfths. Okay, there's our conversions. So now they all have multiples of 12. Let's go ahead and let's add these together. I would just do order of operations. Because it's all addition, you can choose which one. I'm going to do these two first. So this is going to be 3. I'll do 6 twelfths plus. So 2 plus 1 is 3. 8 plus 3 is 12, right? No, 8 plus 3 is 11. So this is going to be 3 and 11 twelfths. There we go. And now let's add the 6 in. So 6 plus 11 is 17. So this is going to be 17 twelfths, which we take away 12 to make it 4 and 5 twelfths. 4 and 5 twelfths. If you missed that right there, you could also kind of write it like this, equals 3 and 17 twelfths. But you can't have the whole number and the improper fraction. So what you do is you take, if you have 12 for a packet, you can take 12 away to make a whole packet, and you'll have 5 left over. All right, and then you have to make that whole packet another whole number. So 4 and 5 twelfths. Let's pop that there in the answer. There we go. He has 4 and 5 twelfths cups of seeds. Let's keep going here. Abby is 5.5 feet tall. Craig is 5 1/3 feet tall. So right off the bat, without even doing any work, we all know that 1/2 of a foot is more than 1/3 of a foot, right? If you had a foot and you cut it in half, it's that much. If you have a foot and you cut it into 3 pieces, 1/3 is definitely shorter than 1/2. So without doing any work, you should be able to see here that Abby is taller. And please write your full sentence. Okay, now how much taller? Show your work. Now, how much is always subtraction because you want to know the difference. So we're going to do here 5.5, which is Abby's height because she's taller, minus 5 1/3. And actually, the whole number here on the mixed numbers is kind of just in the way because they're 5, they can cancel out. So this actually turns into 1/2 minus 1/3. And then that is a lot easier to do. This will have a common denominator. Let's just pop that there. This will have a common denominator of 6, right? Lowest common multiple of 2 and 3 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. Now let's rewrite it as sixths. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. 3/6 minus 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 1 is 2. 2/6. And that is going to get you your answer of 1/6. And what I really wanted to see was the full sentence. Abby is 1/6 of a foot taller than Craig. Okay, that's a solid A-level answer right there. Your work and your answer written in an awesome sentence. All right, Andrea worked out by walking and running on a park trail. She walked 2/5 of the trail and then ran 1/4 of the trail. Let's go ahead and underline. She walked 2/5. She ran 1/4. How much of the trail had she covered? So when they said how much taller, this one was subtraction because I wanted to know the difference. But this one actually is, I take my word back. So this was how much of it has she done. This is addition because it wants to know how much has she done, not the difference. So you have to actually read these carefully to know exactly what they're looking for. So how much has she done? 2/5 plus 1/4. Let's pop that out. 2/5 plus 1/4. We know from earlier in the test that 5 and 4 have a lowest common multiple of 20. So let's convert this to 20ths. 5 times 4 is 20. 2 times 4 is 8 20ths. I think we had that earlier in the test somewhere. Plus 1/4 is 20ths. 4 times 5, 1 times 5, 5 20ths. Okay. Let's write out our sentence here. How much of the trail has she covered? Andrea has covered, well, 8 plus 5 is 13. 13 20ths of the trail. All right, always writing that full sentence, making sure that I know exactly what you're talking about. Did Andrea walk farther or run farther? Well, you'll see right off the bat that she walked 8 20ths and she ran 5 20ths. So it's pretty simple here. So Andrea walked farther. And then our final answer is how much farther. And then we're going to do 8 20ths, that's how much you walked. Now on this one, how much farther, just like how much taller, right? How much taller? This is subtraction. It's looking for the difference between the two numbers. So 8 20ths minus 5 20ths. Then that equals 8 minus 5 is 3. 3 20ths. Is that right? Yep. 3 20ths. And then she says, give you a full sentence here. Andrea walked 3 20ths farther. And then you can write farther than running, but you don't need to, because that answers 3 20ths. I guess I'm going to change that too. Of the trail. That's your unit trail. Okay, keep going. David ran half a mile down the school track and then walked a third of a mile. Let's underline some stuff. He ran half a mile. He walked a third of a mile. So if he ran a half and he walked a third, how far did he go in all? Choose the best estimate. Okay, that means we don't have to solve it yet. More than a mile? Well, I know that 1/3 is less than a half, okay? And I know that you have to have 2 halves to equal 1 mile. So there's no way he walked more than a mile. So it can't be that. More than half a mile. Well, yeah, of course it has to be more than half a mile because he ran a half mile, he walked a third, but less than a whole mile. I'm thinking that's right. And then less than half a mile, that can only be right if he had not done that first part. So the answer has to be this one here. Have fun filling that in with your trackpad. All right. How far did he go in all? Use numbers, label sketches, or words to solve this problem. Well, you could just, you could draw it out like this. Here's a half. And then you could add a third there. And you can write that out. But I'm actually going to do this in numbers. Because 1/2 plus 1/3. I think we saw this. Didn't we see this earlier in the test? 1/2 and 1/3 right here. Oh, it's subtraction though. Okay. So 1/2 plus 1/3. We have our lowest common multiple is 6. And we know now, we've done this so many times, 3/6 plus 2/6. Because 1/3, right? 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 2 is 3. Sorry, 1 times 2 is 2. Then this equals 5/6. We're not done. Let's write our sentence. David went 5/6 of a mile in all! Exclamation point. Yay. All right, let's take a look here. That's done. Next one. Oh, no more. We're all done. Awesome job, folks. So I hope that you had time to fix your answers. Go back, watch this video again, fix all your answers, make sure they're perfect so that everything that you do is right and ready for the retest, which is coming up on Wednesday or anytime that you can make it in the next term. All right, everybody, I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you all later. Good luck.